Hey, Enlighten22 here, and we're back at the entrance hall of the Forgotten Fort, and a couple changes since last time. We've added this light gray glass here, and I put iron armor on all the armor stands. I might change it out for different armor in the future, but for now, we'll just use this armor here. And also got all the yellow hardened clay. Oh, one other thing I forgot is also start adding the redstone lamps around here. I like it because it will light up stuff. One thing I want to do though is make some of these turned off, just to add to the atmosphere of everything being run down, but some of them on as well, so there's a nice atmospheric lighting around the fort without having to just spam torches everywhere. And the one other thing we need on these walls is a banner, and then the wall is complete. And I've played around a bit, made a banner design. This is actually my first banner I've ever made in Minecraft, ever designed. So give me a bit of slack. I played around, did a bunch of really complicated designs, but figured out that this simple design was the best bet. And I'm just showing you what it is. That's what I forgot. I also need an ox eye, and I don't have any ender pearls either. I'll run over here. But like I was saying, the banner design, I preferred the simpler design because I was trying all those things with fades, with lots of complicated shapes. And for what I wanted, just nothing quite looked right, particularly against the plain gray background. So these flatter colors just worked out. Yep, this is the flower farm over here. This is where I got all the dyes. And a bit laggy. Sorry about that. Not much I can do though. So finally throw the ox eye in here. And that should be that is the banner design. I'll just explain a bit about it as we're running over there. Once it's placed, you'll see it has gray, brown, and yellow. I chose those colors. I was messing around with greens and some other colors, but the green just didn't look right against the wall. It felt right because of being a swamp, but against the wall, once you're in there, it just doesn't work. And I like the gray, brown, and yellow because it ties everything in. The brown is from the floor and the pillars, gray from just the stone brick walls, and yellow from the floor, and that's my color choice. Similar to the redstone lamps, and I'm going to be smattering hardened clay around here. So that is what that looks like. We need to copy these. I've never actually copied a wall. Oops. I hope this all copies. I know you need the same base color for it. Running around everywhere. We'll place these all up, be able to see what everything looks like. There we go. No, I didn't need any copies to save. I can't sprint anymore. But let's place this whole wall up. We can step back and look at it. And yeah, to me, that looks really good. That really brings this room together. Adds a little bit extra color to this wall. Yeah, that was the best I could come up with. And next thing I want to get done is this wall here and back here. So I'll really quickly just explain what my thought at the moment is. I think the easiest thing to do would simply be run pillars here and there. And then we could just mimic these pillars. Only issue with it, and then we can use this exact same design right here, because that's the easy way out. Don't have to make a new design. The only issue with this is having the chisel blocks there kind of messes with the 5 wide entrance, so I have to do something to make this gate look a little bit nicer. And we'll get these walls done. I'll probably just finish that up off camera, come back, and we'll start working on the ceiling. Oh, and what I want to do today, we definitely want to finish up this whole entrance hall today, and yep, just have a nice entrance to this building, and that will help dictate all the themes for the rest of it. I'll see you once the front's done. I'm liking where this is going. It's pretty much the same repeat of this design. Only difference, I've worked on this gate, which is mostly just mirroring that. One thing I like about this, actually, let's go back and check. Alright, there's not too much space back here, but there is plenty of space under, and with being 3 wide, my first thought is we might be able to make a really cool piston door to lead into here, which I would love to do because piston doors are fun, and I definitely need something to keep monsters out of the fort, because I'm not going to light up all the area outside. And a couple other things. This is the old design where I had beams. 3 of these little cobblestone beams. New design, there's only going to be 2, just because it lines up better with this pillar here. And then the other thing that happened, I was back here, and as you can see, there's yellow hardened clay here that I can't really remove because it's seen from the other side. And at first I was like, oh no, that sucks. What will I do? Will I have to redesign the outside or redesign the inside? And my next thought was, well, maybe I could make this all yellow. Tried that out, and look at that. I really like that. It just gives a little bit more depth, adds a bit more color. It's a lot more subtle than I expected. Because this kind of flat doesn't really give a background. This gives the armor stand a background. So yeah, we're going to be changing all of these out for yellow hardened clay. And then the last thing, obviously I need to do this to that wall, change out all the yellow hardened clay, but I wanted to mess around with a quick lamp design. So my thought for the ceiling was to make lamps hanging down. That would be the easiest thing to do. That would break up the ceiling. Here are all my lamp designs. So I was trying out a whole bunch of lamps, and I'll try to walk you through the process in the same order I did them. I started here, and with this flat lamp design like I showed you before, and did it with iron fence. Then I tried it with spruce fence. Iron bars. Sorry, it's iron bars. Found that out. Then did spruce fence. Then I tried out the bulkier one, like I thought. So, my take on these 3. These 2 look just a little bit bland. I preferred the spruce fence just because it gave it a little bit more color. I didn't really like this being even, like the stairs and the lamp being at the same level. While on this one I really like the sort of indented lamp like this. I like that. The one problem with it was it's 4 blocks tall. And this entire room is only 8 blocks tall. Having a lamp take up half the height of the room just doesn't feel right. I feel too close to it when I'm in a big room like this. So I definitely want to keep to 3 blocks or less. That was sort of my take from that. So this, I bumped the lamp up, and that alone looked weird. Well, actually I tried this. I tried bumping up all 4 lamps. It was just too much. A little bit too much. I kind of like it, but doesn't feel right for me. So then I just tried the 1 lamp in the middle. It was too exposed, just like those. That's my problem with this. It's just too exposed. Too many lamps. So then I added these half slabs, and I really liked that. Then I continued. I started trying out some simpler stuff, like I tried the simple trapdoor, because I felt like I was getting a little bit stuck on this style. Tried out the trapdoor. And I also tried just sticking a lamp right there. This one doesn't look bad. The reason I didn't go for it, well, I won't go for it, is because it's just too flat. My whole issue with the ceiling is it's too flat, and I'm adding these lamps just to give it something more that's interesting, and this won't do much at all. Then I hopped into a creative world because I felt like I was getting a little bit stuck on... Oh, this is the other design I tried. Similar to that, a little bit less bulky, a little bit simpler. Doesn't quite do it for me, but this is a cool design. Definitely good thing to have in mind. I may use it in the future. So then I hopped over to Creative World and did a little bit of messing around because I wanted to try out some things with a bunch of glass panes, and I didn't want to dye up a whole bunch of glass panes in survival. So I did all that. Nothing really stuck. All of it just felt too out of place. It seemed like these more standard, just bulky lamps were the way to go. There is a reason these are the standard. Well, this type over here is a very standard one in particular because it simply looks really good. So then I decided to try this, came back here, tried this out in two other variations. I tried a spruce variation and a dark oak variation. I've been looking at these for a little bit, and I think the dark oak will be better, I believe. I actually want to try out something. I have the light gray glass here, and yes. Oh yes, that looks way better. Yep, I'll be adding the brown glass to the bottom of that. That makes the glass a lot less obvious. But the one issue I was having was I'm looking at this, and there's all these big lamps sticking out, and if they were all the same, this would be pretty repetitive here. I don't want 12 of the same lamp in this room. That would just make the ceiling too repetitive. Another thing is this is 4 wide, so it makes these really, really close to the wall. So now I went and started working on a new design. I was thinking maybe doing this, or maybe the indent over there. Then I decided to try this out, and I really like this design. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use, though. Basically, it's just stairs on the side of the pillar, the lamp, and either I'll use iron bars or fence. I don't think I'm a big fan of the fence, just looking at it. Maybe, though. And dark oak or cobblestone both could be good on the top. I'm still unsure about this. I'm unsure what materials exactly to use. And I'm also not sure whether to put in that block or that block. So what I'll do is I'll get this middle row done with the dark oak, because I definitely want that. And then I'll probably do like each side with different variations of these, just to figure out the exact one I want. Because I think I just can't figure out with a single one and without everything coming together. I'll do that and be back once I have all these variations set up. The lamps are in place. I did another quick test here. I tried out either spruce or walls for the top of these lamps. The reason I did that was I was looking, and what happened? Let's see if I can get an angle where you see it. Well, essentially what happened, if it was only spruce, like if these were dark oak, not spruce. If these were purely dark oak, and these were like extra fixtures, I'll call these fixtures these lamps, that sounds good, were cobblestone, there'd be issues. It just looked weird. Like when you're looking here, it doesn't look balanced. It's weird having tons of cobblestone over here with no dark oak, and then lots of dark oak here with no cobblestone. So what I figured was either I'd need to do, and same with stone, or the stone brick, not a fan of it. So what I figured was either it needed fences here and dark oak stairs here, or walls here and cobblestone stairs here. Now I don't really like the walls on top of the lamps, so I'm going with this, which I'm actually a bit surprised by because I was expecting to go with this cobblestone. I thought that looked better. And then I did another test, the dark oak wall, or dark oak stairs with the fence, or dark oak stairs with iron bars, and this just was too bulky for what I wanted, and too brown. So I'm going with the iron bars right here. A lot more subtle, just adds a little bit of detail to it. And finally, the last thing I had was where to place it. Either like a little bit closer to the middle or a little bit closer to the outside. And I'm going with a little bit closer to the middle because having the fence right up against the stair doesn't look the best, and this looks a little bit more centered on this beam. So I'll have to do all that, get all those put in. I need to still add all the hardened clay behind the armor stands. But one thing I wanted to look at, because I really want to see exactly how much room I have to make a door. That's what I was worried about. Looks like there is absolutely no room to make a door or add pistons on the sides. So, the easiest thing I could do, I was worried about that, but I have a couple possibilities. Well, I definitely want something along here to stop mobs from getting through. And most likely, it's just going to be fences, because having some fence posts that just pull down so that you can walk over. I may play around with doing something a little bit fancier than that. I'll see. I'll definitely show you once we get back, potentially. Or we might be working on here. I don't know. Wherever my inspiration takes me, that's where I'll go. But yeah, so unfortunately won't be able to do a big epic door just because of all the stuff in here. So it'll have to be something simple down there. I ended up getting both the entrance gate done and the interior of that room, the floor part. The only issue is this was the best gate I could come up with. It's just tripwires. Hey, Mew. It's just tripwires to push this down. Now, it meant I need to lower everything, so this is 1.5 blocks, but I'm over here. And it's stairways, that's so that I can sprint and don't get slowed down by a full block pushing into me. There's one main issue with this. If I sprint into it, well, it actually worked that time, but sometimes I get a little bit stuck up on it like that. And that's really annoying, and the whole popping up and down is really annoying. So what I decided, what I'm going to do is take this out and just leave this entrance open and assume not too many mobs are going to go in here. Also, since this is an entrance hall, I don't need to be super safe. Like, if this was my storage room, I would not want any mobs in there, because you don't want to look at chests and then have a creeper blow up. But in here, I'll just consider this just a moderately safe area. Also, for the interior, I find doing this sort of stuff, like filling a room, is one of the hardest things to do, because it takes the most creativity, I think. Like, building walls isn't easy. No, it's definitely a skill, but like, you just find a pattern and you get it working. Interiors are pretty tough, but after messing around for a while, I came up with this design. It's simple, but I think it does the job. A little bit of a, like, treasure, sort of like the old fort. You come in and they show off their riches, almost like a museum. I wanted to make it a glass case all around, but that was too bulky. So yep, I believe with this, the interior of this room is completely done. I also want to just quickly tear this down on camera with you, because I want to tear this down and then work on the whole pathway and entrance into here. So if you were curious, it's just sticky pistons with repeaters running to them. And obviously it's powered until I hit the tripwire, at which point, let's get this all raised up. And that's fine if I lose the iron. I do want to recover all the redstone though. It was a torch, yep, and with this line running to it, so if either of the tripwires got powered, the torch got powered, and that is that. Alright, so for the entranceway, basically how I'd like to do this is my style of doing paths. I'd like to, rather than just having this abrupt, because if I place dirt here, like a line of dirt, it would be a really abrupt transition. It's like dirt, 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 wood. Yeah, that's not nice looking, so instead I like to mix in, there's no real technical, I sort of fade in the, like, whatever the floor texture is. So I'm going to add a little bit of wood here and there. And yeah, I'm just messing around, just doing what feels right. Which really a lot of this comes down to feeling, and each person's randomized paths will look slightly different. And I think that's good enough. That's all the spruce wood I need, just to give a little bit of a transitionary period. I'm also debating whether or not to keep this lowered. Oh, forgot about closing this on up. And this is a nice little wall. Let's try something out really quick. Yep, I think that looks good. And there we are. That's a nice little entranceway. I like that. Add a little bit of yellow there. And I had a few other materials. I don't have any coarse dirt on me, but I do want to play around with that. I definitely want cobblestone. Well, maybe. I'm thinking cobblestone, gravel, and coarse dirt could be the material combination. And basically I'm just building a little bit of a path to figure out what I want here. And let's add a little bit right there. And that's feeling good. Like, that's really all I need. I might edit this a little bit once I figure out the full path. That's something else we need to do. Make a path from here all the way back to the community. And we'll probably want paths around here just to make it all look nicer. The last thing I wanted to figure out is whether or not I kind of like the step up. It was a necessity with the door, but now that I have it that way, I like sort of walking up into the building. It just makes it feel better. It feels more grand that way. And it's not too bad. I'll probably, again, once I continue this path, I'll probably have to fill in some of this water and clear out some of this, just so I have a little pond-side walk next to the witch hut. But there's our path, and this room is complete. Whew. So entrance hall done. I'm really liking how it looks. We're going to be carrying this theme throughout the rest of this build. Oh, one thing I did learn from this. You too. Woo! One thing I learned from this build is it's relatively hard to build in a wide and shortish room. Well, short's relative, but a room that's significantly wider than it is tall. Because all of these things, because it does a couple things. It means your ceiling decorations can't be nearly as tall. And also, there's a lot of floor space to decorate, which is hard. And I was messing around. I wanted to make some statues in here, but every statue design I could come up with was at least 6 blocks tall, which 6 blocks. Sorry about disgusting mouth noises. 6 blocks tall means that it was touching this redstone lamp, which doesn't work. So, yeah, moral of the story, in the future, I want to typically, at least, build taller seedlings compared to the floor space. The other thing is, it would have been nice to have designed this, like what I was going to do with the floor, I can't speak right now, before designing a floor pattern, because, yeah, once I had this floor pattern, every design I was adding was way off-centered with it, or like just messing up my floor design. So in the future, add what you want in the floor, then make a floor pattern somewhat based on it, at least in this type of build. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.